Prosper Log, show date 140831. Hope this entry finds everybody well. I'm doing pretty good. This week's entry brought to you by the Live Long and Prosper Facebook page, commended by Captain Christine Hope, inspiring all around the world for peace and long life. Keep in mind your mind matter. Live long and prosper. Captain Hope, live long and prosper you, my friend. Alright, let's start this entry out right. New glass to the Prosper lineup. Yes, it is a personalized glass made by my house commander, the one and only Robin Dimmick. Robin, thank you for the glass. I love it. For you, the Prosper salute. Alright, let us partake, shall we? This week's beverage of choice from Lakefront Brewery out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Riverwest All Malt Stein beer. I don't have a percentage on this, so I will find it out. Alright. Proper opening apparatus, proper technique. Here we go. A nice pop. Let us commence the pour. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. That's the stuff dreams are made of right there. Good beer. Good color. Alright. Cheers to all of you. Kapla! As they'd say in the Klingon Empire. Ooh, that's good. That's good. Alright, got to start it off the way we always do. Got to start out for what it's for. It's the birthdays. Celebrating a birthday back on the 24th. Girl I went to school with, good friend, Jessica Culbertson. Jessica, how you doing? I hope you're doing okay. I hope this finds you well. She, like me, graduated from Hagerstown Class of 2001, first class of the millennium. Don't care what anybody says. Jessica, I drink to you. All right. Now, from the 25th, this man I have practically known all my life. He is Ted Dishner, Uncle Ted, as I think of him. He is Josh Chenoweth's uncle. Uncle Ted, how you doing? Hope life's treating you well. Hope you're still running those Boston marathons. I drink to you in celebration of your birthday. All right. Next birthday, from the 27th. Doug Rowland. Now, I know Doug through his brother, Travis. He and his brother Doug and his mother, rather, came to England to visit Travis for a week or so a few years back. And the drinking age in London's 18. I remember, Doug, I remember stuff you probably don't. I'll keep it at that. But Doug, cheers to you. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and group this next birthday along with a birthday from the 29th. They are my aunt and uncle, Aunt Mary and Uncle Gary Dimmitt. How are you two doing? I hope you two had good birthdays together. Hope you spoiled each other. And, well, here's one to you. Alright, now, next on the list. This guy is a guy that I went through a management development course with about 2 years or so ago. Robert Sanderlin. Robbie, how you doing, bud? I hope life's treating you well. I saw you got a baby on the way. Hey, congratulations to you. Congratulations. And I'll drink one for you. All right, next on the list. This is a gal I knew back in as a young lad. You know, maybe 8 tall. Michelle Overman. Michelle, I hope life's treating you good. I hope things are going well for you. Excuse me. So you've got a lovely family and a good teaching career going for you. Michelle, educating our future. I give you the prosperous salute. And in honor of your birthday, I drink to you. Alright. Last birthday from the 29th. I grew up with this girl. She's a couple years older than me. Amanda Finney. How you doing? I hope life's treating you alright as well. And Amanda, happy birthday. Cheers and beers. Alright, hang tight. Got a few more birthdays. From the 30th, Chris Fuller. Now, our dads were on the fire department together in Indiana. And as a result, I ended up growing up with Chris. He learned some things about me. I learned some things about him. Well, let's just leave it at that. He's like me. He's a hardcore Colts fan. Chris, let's hope they did good this year. I'd love to see Andrew Luck get him a Super Bowl ring within his first 5 years. I'll drink to that. All right. Next on the list. From today, actually. Jason Miller. Now, Jason's a guy that was a couple years ahead of me in school. We were on the swim team and the track team together and stuff. Good friend of mine. Jason, I hope life's treating you well. I saw where you recently got engaged. Congratulations, my friend. Congratulations. I give the prosperous salute. And I drink to the occasion. Alright, next on the list. My own dear cousin, I just mentioned her parents, Amber Rohr. Now, Amber's is probably one of the sweetest ladies I've known. She's currently teaching elementary school. For educating our future, my dear cousin, the prosperous salute. And on the event of your birthday, which I hope Chris spoiled you, I drink to the occasion. Alright, last but not least, guy I'm actually getting ready to start working with here at Earth Station Okinawa, Michael Wyatt. I hope your wife treated you good on your birthday today, Mike. I hope you celebrated well, and I'm looking forward to doing business with you. Here's to it. Alright, birthdays. Done. Alright, let's move on to the additional greetings. Now, these first three, I'd posted something up earlier in the week how I'd had a lot on my mind. These three took the time out to see if I was doing okay. I've mentioned two of them before, and one of them's a newcomer to my greetings. Tom Knuckles, Maegen Mugallion, and Dan Butler. You three, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to reach out to me, make sure I was doing all right. Things are looking up for me a little bit. Things are looking up. Things are getting better. To you three, I drink. All right. Next up, this guy. Yeah. He is responsible for the Beer and Song of the Day Facebook page and the YouTube show, of which this show is a spinoff. My man, Josh Baker. Now, you're probably wondering, why the heck are you giving love to a Patriots fan? You may be a Patriots fan, but at the same time, he's a good dude. Josh, I'm hoping you get to the post office soon, because if you do, I got something coming in the mail for you. And finally, you've heard her mentioned before, she's an unofficial sponsor of the page, the one and only Kat Thompson. Now, Kat just recently did a Star Trek photo shoot. And these pictures look good. She looks good. The picture's awesome. Kat, cheers and beers. Keep up the good job. And keep doing what you're doing. And I'll drink to you. Alright, that's it for the shout-outs. Well, let us move to Star Trek birthdays from the week. Got two of them. On the 24th, Jennifer Lean Kess on Star Trek Voyager turned 40 years old. She hit a milestone, folks. 40 years old. She doesn't look it. And from the 26th, Chris Pine plays Captain Kirk in the J-Dray-verse of Star Trek. Turned 34 this week. Happy birthday to you two. the prosper salute, and I shall drink. All right, now, time to pause from Star Trek for a moment. One thing I like to do on this show, the old pigskin. That's right. I'm talking about my football picks for the week. And yes, when I say football picks for the week, I actually mean regular season. We're going for the 4th through the 8th. The 4th of September through the 8th of September, which is also the 48th anniversary of Star Trek debuting on NBC. Only one game on the 4th, Green Bay at Seattle. Got to go with Green Bay on this one. I'm still upset over the Super Bowl that Seattle was in. That Seattle beat the Broncos in. My number 2 team. Peyton so could have taken them. Got to go with Green Bay on that one. September 7th, New Orleans at Atlanta. Go with Atlanta. Go with Atlanta. I mean, I haven't seen them play. I've also seen New Orleans play. After that illegal hit Andrew Luck took in the preseason, no. Going with Atlanta. Minnesota at St. Louis. Now, I actually made this pick before I read the news that they cut Michael Sam. I mean, maybe the man couldn't play football. Or maybe it was just some fear because he's openly gay. I don't know. But I picked St. Louis on this one. And all I got to say is, St. Louis, if you guys cut Michael Sam because he's openly gay, I got something for you. Kids, look, a deer! That's all I got to say about that. Cleveland at Pittsburgh. No, this one I'm going for the underdog. I do not like Pittsburgh. Sorry, don't like them. Jacksonville at Philadelphia. Jacksonville's in my conference. I can't root for them. It would be fundamentally wrong for me to root for them. So I got to go with Philly. Oakland at New York. Oakland versus the Jets. This is one I was torn about. Not a big fan of the Jets, but at the same time, I can't stand Oakland, so I had to go with the Jets. Cincinnati at Baltimore. Now, I have a feeling Baltimore is going to end up whooping up all over Cincinnati. I went ahead and picked Baltimore for that one. Buffalo at Chicago. Nothing against the Bears. I went with Buffalo. Washington at Houston. Nope. Houston's in my conference. You know how that one goes. Tennessee at Kansas City. Oh, Tennessee. Same thing. In my conference. New England at Miami. Now, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Anytime New England's playing, I automatically root for the other team, no matter if it's a team I can't despise. I don't always root for the Jets, but when I do, they're playing the Patriots or the Raiders. Oof. Oakland and New England. Oof. I hope they never meet. That's just one where I'd hope either the stadium gets blown up or the signal gets cut. Nah, not really. I wouldn't wish injuries on anybody. That's just unsportsmanlike. Moving on. Carolina at Tampa Bay. I'm going for Carolina on this one. I don't know. Call it a hunch. San Francisco at Dallas. Yeah. I'm rooting for Tony Romo to choke. Sorry, Dan Butler. You know what's going to happen. Indy at Denver. Ooh. That's the big game, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen. That's the big game for the week. Here's why. Now, y'all know Peyton used to play for Indianapolis back in the day. Before he got hurt, and Jim Irsay was like, oh, we're going to bench you so we can get a better quarterback. After that season, they let him go. Guess who picked him up? Yep. So when that game's all said and done, here's who I'm rooting for. You all know this, but for those of you that don't, there's only one answer to it. All right, I went off on a little bit of a tangent there. Sorry, folks. Let's get back to it. September 8th, Star Trek's 48th birthday. The Giants at Detroit. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. If you don't know by now who I'm rooting for, if you don't know by now how I determine who I'm rooting for, sorry about you. San Diego at Arizona. Don't like the Chargers. Do not like the Chargers. I'm rooting for Arizona. Let's go, Bruce Arians. Come on. Lead them to another victory. All right. Now that I've talked a little about pigskin, let's go back to talking about Trek. This week's episode, Miri. which also happens to be the shortest original series title. Alright, so basically what happens, the Enterprise arrives at a planet. Excuse me. Excuse me. The Enterprise arrives at a parallel Earth to find that a mysterious disease has infected the inhabitants. And the only healthy people left are children, or so it seems. They beam down, they find one child, who the episode's named after, the episode's namesake, Miri, and during the course of the episode, they all become infected with this disease. The only member of the landing party not affected is Mr. Spock, because of that green blood of his. While he's not infected, he is a carrier of the disease, which means he can't beam back to the Enterprise. So basically, the children loot the crew, steal their communicators, essentially cutting them off from contact with the ship, and as a result, they start going mad, and they start turning against one another. Dr. McCoy is able to come up with an antidote and test it on himself, which nearly kills him, but at the same time proves effective against the disease. At the end of the episode, the children are inoculated, and the Federation is going to send basically babysitters to come out and set these people right. Let's go behind the scenes, shall we? Adrian Spy's original script draft featured a much closer relationship between Kirk and Janice Rand. That would have been something neat. I'd have loved to have seen that. But then again, a commander and a subordinate, I don't know. I got mixed feelings on that one. Spies considerably padded out his script with lengthy scene descriptions and stage directions, and when they were edited out of the episode, was found to be approximately 10 minutes too short, leading to a late rewrite of the script by Stephen W. Karabatsis, however you pronounce that. I think I just butchered it. This, combined with the generally poor reaction to the story, led to Roddenberry deciding to never let Spies write any more stories for the show. If it's really that in-depth, good on the man, but too much detail can ultimately hurt you. I give the man props. In Spy's original script, the action is basically the same. However, around 80% of the dialogue is different from Karabatsis' rewrite in the aired episode. Janice is revealed to be 24 years old, and she is considering leaving the Enterprise. Also, the character of the fat little boy is extended, and more emphasis is put on the older kids taking care of the younger ones. This was the first ever episode produced by Gene L. Kuhn and Gene Roddenberry, previously the line producer, serving as executive producer. Uh-oh. Empties the brain cells, the average Sequest fan. Time to reload. Ooh, here's a good one. From Lakefront Brewing Company, Eastside Dark. There is no ABV on this one either, so I'll have to find that one out too. Here we go. Proper techniques. Ooh, that one looks better. I was hoping I wouldn't need this, but hey, sometimes it happens. Cheers to you all, or kaplach! That's good. That's good. That one tastes almost like coffee. Alright. Because the script still needed a large amount of rewriting when photography on Dagger of the Mind was completed, production was shut down for 2 days, plus a weekend, before the filming of this episode. This also allowed some prep time for director Vincent McEvity, who directed the 2 episodes back to back. Could you imagine doing that? That seems like it'd be rough. McEvity directed this episode from a wheelchair, as he had broken his leg in a home accident, previously incorrectly stated as a skiing accident a few days prior. Clocking in at 1:10, this episode's teaser is the shortest of any in the original series. Hey, you gotta like a short teaser. Something short and to the point. That's how I like it. Right, Josh Baker? During the Friday night end of the week party on 26 August, after filming this episode, Grace Lee Whitney was sexually assaulted by a member of the show whom she identifies only as the executive in her autobiography, The Longest Trek, My Tour of the Galaxy. She was fired soon afterwards, strengthening her depression and alcohol addiction. Who would do such a thing like that? You know, you want something from her, she says no, so you fire her. That's BS. I'm not going to dignify that. I'm going to move on before it ticks me off. James Doohan, George Takei, and Nichelle Nichols do not appear in this episode. John Arndt, A-R-N-D-T, was a regular extra. He also played unnamed crewman in Dagger of the Mind and Space Seed, and Sturgeon in The Man Trap. When Arndt appeared in Balance of Terror, his character was named Fields. Makes sense. Give the man a name. Jim Goodwin, who previously appeared in Mud's Women and The Enemy Within, makes his final appearance in the series. John and Scott Dweck are Grace Lee Whitney's sons. As an adult, Scott will return in a feature film appearance as a Vulcan Enterprise crew member in Star Trek The Motion Picture. Stephen McEvity is the nephew of director Vincent McEvity. Phil and Iona Morris were the children of Mission Impossible star Greg Morris, and would both appear as characters in later incarnations of Star Trek. I can't count how many times I've seen Phil Morris on Trek. He also had a good role in Smallville, too. But I'm getting off topic. Keith Taylor replaced Rusty Stevens on Leave It to Beaver as Beaver's new plump friend, Harry. Imagine that. Darlene and Dawn Roddenberry are the daughters of Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry. William Shatner also had at least one of his daughters in the show, in this episode, as the little girl that Captain Kirk picks up after she is thrust into his arms. In her book, Grace Lee Whitney writes that she tried to persuade Leonard Nimoy to bring his kids to the set as extras, as she and Shatner did. But Nimoy was determined to keep his children away from show business. Hey, different strokes for different folks. What can I say? The man is even more logical than I am. Plus he makes more money, so it doesn't matter what I think. This is the first episode to feature outdoor shooting after the first pilot of The Cage, featuring the redressed exterior shots from the Andy Griffith Show, which were located on the 40 acres backlot property of Desilu Studios at the time. Other episodes filmed at the 40 acres sets are The Return of the Archons and The City on the Edge of Forever. I'll touch that one when I get to that episode. This is the first appearance of McCoy's portable biocomputer. It's that little box that Spock was playing with earlier. Or was it the one McCoy was looking into? I don't remember. I'll have to go back and watch it again and find out. This is the only episode in which the men's Enterprise uniform tops are revealed to be fastened by hidden zippers, as shown when Kirk's and McCoy's tunics are opened at the neck. That actually makes sense. Spock wearing the ears? Yeah, you don't want to risk pulling them off while taking off your uniform. Excuse me. Fred Phillips was responsible for creating the rubber scabs worn by the infected crew, which had been described as a simple matter for Phillips to create. It was his choice of color that added the dramatic edge. The signal coming from the planet can be heard in the Outer Limits episode, The Man Who Was Never Born. Also featuring makeup by Fred Phillips and starring Martin Landau and Carl Hurd. Martin Landau was originally considered for the role of Spock. Can you imagine how that would have turned out? I've never heard of Carl Hurd, though. The sound of Kirk's phaser firing is unique to this episode, as is the appearance of the beam itself, which oscillates in and out of the emitter. I knew that. The sphere model used for Mary's homeworld has the same geological configuration of its continents as modern Earth, only without any clouds. Excuse me. Recycled footage of the Enterprise orbiting Earth can be seen in Tomorrow's Yesterday and Assignment Earth. In the former episode, clouds were added in post-production, although in some instances, the original cloudless model can be seen. In the latter, they simply reused the footage from Miri without any clouds. The same Earth globe was used in Shore Leave and Arena, printed backwards and with exotic color tints added. This is the only one of the 7 episodes in which Janice Rand appears in which she actually leaves the Enterprise. Man, Captain, let her get out and get some air. This is the first of 12 episodes in which all action aboard the Enterprise is confined to the bridge. The others are A Taste of Armageddon, The Devil in the Dark, Errand of Mercy, Metamorphosis, Who Mourns for Adonius, Bread and Circuses, The Omega Glory, Spectre of the Gun, Plato's Stepchildren, Whom Gods Destroy, and The Empath. Good stuff, good stuff. Let's finish this. Empty as a brain cell as the average Sequest fan. Alright, folks. You know what time it is, right? It is time to expedite a departure. Y'all take care. Have an awesome night or day. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And if you do, name it after me. Don't drink and drive, because you might spill your drink. More importantly, you might kill yourself or somebody else. And drinking and driving is dumber than being a Sequest fan. And what's worse than that is rooting for little whiny crybabies like Tom. Giselle won't let me go to the Pro Bowl. Brady, men slapping women, racism, animal abuse, fake friends, people who welch on bets, or anybody who's a member of, supports, or defends the Westboro Baptist Church. Things like that are just plain stupid, and I don't have time for it. So y'all take care, have a good night or day, and, as always, live long and prosper.